Hi! Today, this video is not even Pac-Man themed. Oh my gosh, will you be quiet? Sorry, somebody go in a cargo room out there. But today we're going to be reacting to Being Transethnic by my story, uploaded by the channel Schmitty. What kind of a name is Schmitty? The like-to-dislike ratio is... it's interesting. 1,289 likes to 5,780 dislikes. Oh, by the way, to the person who uploaded the original video, if you're gonna try to file a copyright takedown on this video, we have a term for our way of clapping back, and it's called fair use.
I know a lot of people have been...
So I'm guessing first it goes over people coming out as gay, bisexual, lesbian, or trans on their YouTube pages. As someone who is a transgender male to female myself, I'm not exactly sure if transethnic can be part of the LGBT community, because everything in the LGBT community has something to do with gender, whether it's attraction to gender or what your gender is. So ethnicity has nothing to do with gender.
I'm questioning about it,
but there's...
queer?
Well...
Oh, then it shows Barack Obama, who was actually president when this video came out. It came out on September 21st, 2016. Stop.
I'm transethnic. Some people say I'm just looking for attention, but
they're right. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna make accusations, but a lot of people say outrageous stuff simply for attention. Case in point, look at the anti-vax movement.
I'm really not.
I'm sorry. What is this?
I am trans.
So she's 15. She was 15 at the time of this video being posted. So she's 20 now? My gosh, she's an adult now. And I'm sitting here 16 years old making videos about this person who was 15 when this video was uploaded. I'm pretty sure this was just a phase, and she's probably moved out of that now. So I can't really criticize her for what she was, for what she is now. I get to make fun of her for what she was 5 freaking years ago.
Transethnic. I always knew since I was a kid that I was transethnic. It's just that I didn't know what transethnic was. And
then why did you say that you always knew that you were transethnic?
I didn't know that it was an actual thing with an actual community.
This is a thing. There are more people who are transethnic.
You can kind of tell I was never really happy with how I was, and...
Well, we can't tell from these pictures. In fact, in most of these pictures, you look happy.
A lot of people in my life always told me that I was depressed and, needed something in my life, and honestly,
Yeah, if you're depressed and you need someone in your life, then start looking.
I think I've found it.
Start looking, buddy. Schmitty doesn't regret being transethnic.
I used to identify as ethnic fluid.
What's ethnic fluid? To answer that, I need to know what gender fluid means, because I've heard it a lot, but I never really knew what it meant. Gender fluid. Denoting or relating to a person who does not identify themselves as having a fixed gender. Does that mean they don't have a gender, or does that mean that they change what their... What, that means they can change what their gender is whenever they feel like it. Oh, it's also referred to as non-binary.
Between Japanese and Korean.
Japanese and Korean.
But I finally realized that my gender identity
Gender identity. I guess you forgot to say ethnic identity.
was always Japanese.
As someone trying to learn the Japanese language, okay, I get called a weeaboo for liking anime and learning the Japanese language and still calling myself an American, but this person doesn't get the kind of backlash. What a freaking world we live in. Schmitty still struggles with transphobia and microaggressions on a daily basis. And by transphobia and microaggressions, do you mean people simply telling you that just because you think you're a Japanese person does not mean you're a Japanese person? In which case, yeah, I'm a transphobe. Do not take that out of context. Do not take that out of context. I will link a video made by Filthy Frank talking about weeaboos. The basic definition of a weeaboo is a non-Japanese person who basically denounces their own culture and calls themselves Japanese. They try to learn Japanese through the anime they watch and oftentimes pronounce it wrong and look like a complete idiot. Although, do keep in mind that a non-Japanese person can be interested in the culture, watch anime, learn the language, and respect the culture while still keeping in touch with their own, which doesn't make them a weeaboo. Weeaboos are everywhere. Or at least at one point they used to be everywhere. They seem to either be more obscure now, because or they either seem to have died down because a lot of people realize that it's freaking stupid, or they're just staying hidden.
Transphobia is something that I deal with on a huge basis.
You don't suffer from transphobia, you suffer from people with common sense. Transphobia only applies to transgender people and people like them.
People always tell me that what I'm doing is the C word,
The C word?
which is cringe.
Yo, what up, my cringe? I'm sorry. I just got reminded of that one meme that somebody made when boomers were saying that the term boomer was the new N-word, or it was like the N-word for elders, and it was like, what up, my boomer?
The C word in my community is a word that's not only hurtful but extremely filled with bigotry.
I still don't know what bigotry means. Great, now I have to look up another definition. I'm not even sure if I'm spelling this right. Also, why is there a llama on my desk, on my Brave wallpaper? Obstinate or unreasonable attachment to a belief, opinion, or faction. It's not hurtful. It's just saying either one. What you just said is unpleasant, or so weird it's unpleasant, or that what you are doing is weird or unpleasant.
I've made YouTube videos about gender dysphoria and everything like that, and I've been featured on a lot of C-word compilations. I constantly get flooded with dislikes.
Yeah, here's another one. No, I did not ask to go full screen. Stop it.
And mean comments saying that I'm racist.
Comments are turned off. Seems like she couldn't handle the hate comments, and by that I mean constructive criticism. Actually, no, not constructive criticism. No.
For identifying as transethnic, transitioning to Japanese, and
Transitioning to Japanese. I'm sorry to say this, but as much as you want to be a Japanese person, you're only a Japanese person if you were born in Japan or are the offspring of two Japanese people. So, I'm sorry, it just doesn't work.
I don't think that's true. People should
Also, by the way, look at how yellow her teeth are. Brush your freaking teeth.
think about the things that they've wanted in their lives and the lengths they've gone to achieve them. And then they might identify with how I feel.
Well, I'm sorry.
And how
I'm sorry. If you're looking for acceptance, you're not gonna get it by being transethnic.
a lot of people feel. The internet has a huge transethnic community.
And by huge, do you mean like a couple thousand people or a couple 100,000 people? If so, that's not huge. I've seen bigger communities. The thing is, there are DNA tests that you can take that'll tell you where your ancestors came from. Although there's no DNA test that tells you what your gender is or what the gender of your relatives are, right?
And they've helped me out a lot in my transition. I also deal with microaggressions, like when I talk about my transethnicism, people say, "That's real?" Sorry, since when did it matter if it was real or not? Because this is how I feel, not how you feel.
It's not real. I know that's how you feel, but I'm sorry. The world doesn't care about your feelings. Society, life doesn't care about your feelings. They only care about your feelings if you're upset for a genuinely good reason.
People also like to call me the W word.
Oh gosh. She has another term for a quote-unquote derogatory term.
Weeaboo.
Well, it's true. You're a freaking weeaboo. You're a freaking weeaboo. You've consumed so much Japanese media that you believe that you're a Japanese person. I've consumed Japanese media. Okay, I've watched an anime before. I didn't finish it, despite the fact that it's 24 freaking episodes long, but in some stretch, I enjoy Japanese media. But you don't see me touting the fact that I am a Japanese person, right? Well, first of all, I'm not a Japanese person. I am American, as well as a small part of me has Indian blood. But the majority of me is American. And looking at how Americans have been like in the past year, I'm ashamed to call myself that.
It's a taboo word
It's not taboo. What you're doing is taboo.
in the transethnic community. It's It's not my fault I'm fluent in Japanese.
I bet you're not fluent in Japanese.
Kawaii desu.
Kawaii desu. I bet you don't know what that means.
When I'm older, I plan to move to Japan.
Ooh, strange. You're not in Japan. You're in... Actually, I don't know what country she's in. But it's not Japan. Yeah, I plan to move to Japan when I'm older as well, but I'm still not a Japanese person. If I move to Japan, I'm still not a Japanese person. I'm still an American person who lives in Japan.
Probably become a Japanese pop idol or a model.
A Japanese pop idol or a model. I half expected you to say that you wanted to become an anime character. Schmitty's friends and family both praise and show concern for her condition. I don't know why they're praising her condition and showing concern at the same time. Keep in mind, this is also the person who said that people who don't believe that the earth is flat are Satanists who support the Illuminati. So I don't think I can take her very seriously. This has to be a troll. This has to be a freaking troll.
My family and friends are actually pretty supportive of me.
Yeah, they're supportive of you because they pity you. They feel guilty. If they don't support you, then you're just gonna feel bad. That's why they quote unquote show support. I'm sorry if I'm being a little harsh on her, but she's a freaking weeaboo. Which is what the entire anime community gets labeled as. In reality, most of us aren't. It's just the weirdos that get put in the spotlight.
It's been a long journey, and not all of them were supportive at first, but I think I convinced them.
Yeah, you're persuasive, that means. You're manipulative.
That it's a real thing, and that I'm going through it.
You're going through it, meaning it's a phase.
Hey everyone! So, I'm just making a quick video for Schmitty. Hi Schmitty. So, and you guys too. Schmitty is transethnic to Japanese.
Transethnic to Japanese. That's what you think. Oh gosh, you poor freaking girl. You have been brainwashed.
And you guys aren't supporting her
You have been brainwashed.
like you should be.
Yeah, I get it. I'm part of the LGBT community as well. I'm a transgender.
Some people are mocking her and making fun of her, saying that that's not a thing.
Well, they're freaking right.
But it's just as real as transgender.
Don't compare me to her. Don't compare transgender to transethnic. One is real, one is not.
And you stupid liberals are saying
Liberals. Freaking libtards.
she's racist and all this kind.
Well, I wouldn't say she's racist unless I see her stereotyping Japanese people, in which case, yeah, she's racist.
Kind of stuff, and like you're bringing up cultural appropriation and all.
Cultural appropriation. And who the freak says we're the ones appropriating, doing the cultural appropriation? If she's the one, if she's stereotyping the Japanese people, then technically she's the one who's doing the cultural appropriation.
all that junk. Well, let me just say, we're not saying gender appropriation.
Is she actually gonna start crying? Is she actually gonna freaking start crying? I'm sorry, these two look like jokes right now.
So those people who are gender fluid or transgender.
I'm sorry, did you do the air quotes with the whole gender fluid thing? Alright, so they're not just racists, but they're also transphobes.
We're just supporting them. Not really, actually. I'm not supporting them, but I mean.
Gonna skip this part. Not very interested. Oh gosh, there's more. Gonna skip them. Schmitty's Jewish friend, who they don't even name. I mean, if he wanted to stay anonymous, then you could have said something like John or something.
Or her fully.
I'm sorry. Is that a Trump 2016 campaign shirt? I want to die. Schmitty does not wish to seek help and finds it deeply offensive when people suggest such ideas. You're being offensive. Schmitty is happy. Alright, that's the end of the video. Holy crap, how long was I going for? I must have been interrupting the video like every 5 seconds or something. Anyway, we're gonna watch another video. Alright, here's the second video, uploaded by the same person. Well, I mean, it wasn't uploaded by the same channel, but this is the same person. Because in the video, she says that her name is Schmitty, which is the same name as the other as the girl in the other video. She even looks similar, despite the 240p quality. And the dislike ratio, and the like to dislike ratio isn't very good in this one too. 4,731 likes to 9,183 dislikes. The top comment says, "I like pizza, now I'm Italian." That's her logic. "I like Harry Potter, now I'm British." Anyways,
Hey guys.
this video is much shorter than the other one, only around 2.5 minutes long.
So I tried to record this video just then, but I uploaded it and it was all like really bad quality.
You can say that again. You can say that again. 240p quality.
So I'm gonna do it again. Basically, a hard time I've been going through is
This video was uploaded a year before the other one that we watched.
deciding whether or not I'm Japanese.
Which, no, you're not. I'm sorry, it's the hard truth. If you're, I'm sorry, if you want to be Japanese, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, it's impossible. The only way you could be Japanese is if you were, oh, I already explained earlier. I'm not going to repeat myself.
And don't, like, people are gonna judge me for
You can say
this.
that again.
I'm aware of that, but like, I feel it in my veins. I know who I am, and I think I'm Japanese.
I'm sorry. It's just not possible.
Because like, recently I've been like reading lots of manga and anime.
You pronounced it wrong. You pronounced both of those wrong. It's manga and anime. Technically, it's anime, but in but in like most non-Japanese countries, it's pronounced anime. So good job. You pronounced both of them wrong. Uh, you're doing great. You're doing amazing.
And like, you know, like I also really like their food, like sushi.
Sushi and sushi and sushi. Uh, really, really, the only Japanese food that most people know of is sushi, which I don't fault them for that. Most people don't dive too deep into Japanese culture, so the only Japanese food they're most likely to know of is sushi. But just because you like eating sushi, that doesn't make you a Japanese person. That means you like sushi. In fact, I can name multiple other Japanese foods, like mochi, which is a sort of ice cream type food. There's ramen, which is noodles, and then there's uh, nacho beans, which are basically old soybeans. I don't know why some people like eating old soybeans, uh, but apparently some people put sauce on it, and it makes it taste better. Anyway, I'm getting off topic.
And like all that kind of stuff. So
All that kind of stuff. You've only eaten sushi.
I'm kind of thinking that I am Japanese.
Just because you like Japanese culture, just because you like anime and manga and Japanese food and stuff, you're not Japanese. I'm sorry.
Like in my heart, I think I'm Japanese. So like I'm kind of getting fluent.
You're kind of getting fluent.
So like I know hiragana.
Oh my gosh, another Japanese word that you have butchered. Every Japanese learner, including myself, is offended. It's pronounced hiragana or hiragana if you prefer the correct English pronunciation.
But like
I know hiragana, therefore I am I know hiragana, meaning I am fluent in Japanese. But I'll tell you what hiragana actually is. Hiragana is a writing system. It is one of the language's 3 writing systems, and it is the first one that most Japanese learners learn. The other 2 being katakana and kanji. And no, I did not butcher those pronunciations, like she probably would. Did you find learning hiragana difficult? If so, wait till you reach kanji. Trust me, it's a nightmare.
I don't like I know like konnichiwa and watashi wa Schmitty desu.
She says her name is Schmitty, meaning she's the person in the other video, just on a different channel. You see, she probably fled from this channel to escape the criticism. Because she knows that she's wrong. She just doesn't want to take the criticism. Like just because you know a couple phrases does not mean you're Japanese. Also, if you pronounce your name Schmitty, in the Japanese phrase, you're pronouncing it wrong. Why did I open 2 tabs? Here's the Japanese pronunciation.
Schmitty.
Schmitty. I didn't know this sound existed. T. I'm sorry.
But like I don't want you guys to call me Schmitty anymore. This isn't a phase, so
This isn't a phase. She's 20 now in 2021, so she's probably gotten out of it. Yes, it is a phase.
I'm changing my name. I now identify as nihonjin.
Okay, at least she didn't butcher the pronunciation of that one. And she pronounced sushi right, but that doesn't count because everyone knows the pronunciation of it.
And I'd really appreciate it if you guys could support me in this change, this drastic change that I have made in my life. So that's what gender
That's what gender I identify. I identify as my gender identity is Japanese. She made the mistake again.
identify as, and I hope you guys like agree with my actions and like
I don't.
I'm kind of fluent. I can say konnichiwa.
You already said that you know some Japanese phrases, but that doesn't make you fluent. In fact, Japanese is one of the most difficult languages one of the most difficult common languages in the world. It would take an English speaker more than 2,000 hours of straight studying to become somewhat fluent. The reason it's so difficult is because Japanese has more than 2,000 commonly used characters, most of them being in the writing system kanji.
And like all that kind of stuff. But I don't want you guys to call me Schmitty anymore.
Okay.
Call me Sashimi-san.
That's a food. Sashimi is a food. Here, let me look it up. Look, it's a Japanese food. Sashimi is a Japanese delicacy consisting of fresh, raw fish or meat sliced into thin pieces and often eaten with soy sauce on rice. That's not a name. Sashimi is a food.
Okay, that is my real name and that is my true name. And I
When I became transgender, my first name before was Matthew because I used to be a guy. Then I decided to change my name to Miyu, which I'm not sure if it's a Japanese name, but you definitely can spell it with Japanese characters and and the pronunciation will still be the same. It's based off of the Japanese name Miyuki, which is like one of the characters in my favorite anime. So you can call me a weeb all you want. It doesn't affect me. I choose my name. I chose my female name, not you.
feel it in my heart that this is the right thing to do. So I think I'm gonna go to Japan because I feel like just because I like the food.
I wonder if she did ever go to Japan, even if it was just a visit.
And the anime and the manga.
Pronounce it correctly. Learn the pronunciations. If you're fluent in Japanese, learn the pronunciations. And while yes, I use Google Translate all the time, I'm trying to actually freaking learn the language using stuff that's not Google Translate. Ew.
I think that like
I use Google Translate for translating singular words, not full sentences.
I'm finally like being my true race, my true gender.
My true gender. My gender is Japanese, and there's nothing you can do about it.
My gender identity is Japanese.
My gender identity is Japanese.
That's what it is. Okay, so support me and can you give me money, send money to my PayPal account?
You have a PayPal account? This video was uploaded in 2015. When you were 14, how does a 14-year-old have a PayPal account? You're not even old enough to drive.
To send me to Japan.
To send me to Japan. Yeah. Okay. a $900 plane ticket to Japan simply because you believe that you're Japanese. And that doesn't even take into account the cost of a house in Japan. It probably costs more to live in a city like Tokyo or Osaka or Kyoto or something like that. But have fun living in a suburb.
Because, like, I think I'm gonna do this. Like,
I think I'm gonna do that.
I'm Japanese now. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, folks. Apparently, if you say you're Japanese, you're Japanese. So I now identify as Japanese simply because I like watching anime, reading manga, and I eat Pocky. I hope my audience understands when I'm being sarcastic. Please do not take this out of context. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Sayonara.